What up?
I was wondering how you were gonna kung fu break that up in there. What?
Okay, I'll stop.
Adapting. Okay, I'll stop. To say we've had a productive day is an understatement.
Yeah.
If you can see the board behind us, which you can't fully, that's our brains on the whiteboard. So
Yeah, just when you think of it at one level, we take it to a whole nother level.
A whole nother one.
So, how are you adapting in your business? Why don't you lead this one off, Kim?
Okay. Well, it's June 2nd, and this week we are talking about business. So
and make sure you're real, by the way. I'm just going to call it out right now.
We've called it Business Week this week. Okay. So let's talk about adapting. I'm going to come to you as a female veteran coming out of the military or going into the military. So in the military, they bring you in, they do a little brainwashing, little scrub-a-dub, and it's all because we have to run to the fight, not away from it, right? And it's about the person sitting next to me, not about myself. They teach you a different way of adapting. What's really cool about that and what the civilian population has a hard time with is the way we approach business. Because what we're taught is if Fritz gets taken out, I got to take over his position. Or I've got to train somebody else to do his job like quick while we get out of whatever situation we're in. Full disclaimer, I am not a combat veteran, but let me tell you, we are all in it together. When we go to boot camp, those are the things that you are taught, that any situation, under any circumstance, you have to be able to take over for the person next to you if something should happen. So when we come out into the business world, a lot of times, civilian companies or somebody who has not been in the military at all has a really hard time understanding where we come from because we can adapt to any situation. So when I came out of the military, it was, I can put anything on my resume, but I know if given the opportunity and given enough material, I can learn anything outside of brain surgery, heart surgery, being a doctor in general. But however, there are medics that have come out of the military that are incredible ER doctors because they're put in some crazy ass situations that they know how to adapt to. So that being said, I left the financial world, a very safe world, not being in the market. That's never safe. PS, you just never know what's going to happen, but it does have its ups and downs, and whatever comes up must come down and the other way around. But sitting in those really safe four walls, I needed to know if I could truly help my brothers and sisters, my female and male veterans coming back that were having a hard time adapting to life because nobody teaches you how to be a civilian when you come out of the military. So for me, I'm going to run a nonprofit. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to help people. And that was the basic need for me of getting away from my safe job, was stepping out and knowing that I was given all the skills to do that, to be able to help. And I had no idea what it took to run a veteran nonprofit. None. I had no idea that it was like running a corporation. And you need everybody in it all the time. You need people focused and you need to inspire people to move. And the hardest part is, and understand this, that a nonprofit is built on storytelling. Because I have no products to sell you. I simply sell stories and hoping that you understand even a little bit of what it's like to go through hell and not have anybody give a shit about what you're going through. As these veterans try to adapt into a new situation, which was an old situation prior to that. So we're taught and brought up a certain way, right? It's very safe, very status quo. We go to college. That's what we're supposed to do. And then we come home and now we're shoved back out of the nest and we got to figure out this life that we have now. And really, that is why Fritz and I are sitting here together. Is because we've been in that fight. We've walked through it. We've learned to adapt. We've grown ourselves. We've raised our standards. And that's what we're here to help you with. That's what we're doing. Is that real enough for you?
Yeah,
Okay.
proud of you.
Thank you.
So now let's take all of that. My history, I spent over 24 years in the service world of both vehicles, cars, and motorcycles.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you, I mean, you want to talk about overcoming and adapting on a regular basis. That was like every 15 minutes in that world. And I know that we have business owners on here, and I know that all of you are in customer service in some form or fashion. We all are. We're all, that's our end consumer is somewhere, right? So whether it's internal customer service within your organization, external customer service because you actually have consumers, whatever, but there's customer service involved. So there's always, when you got people involved and you've got dynamics of that, you're always going to be overcoming and adapting somehow, some way. When things happen to your business, you have to overcome and adapt. When things happen with your employees, you have to overcome and adapt. When things happen to the market, when things happen in the world, you know, every day something is happening. There's a thing called the speed of business. And I really think that that is what the speed of business is all of these dynamics that happen throughout a day in the business world and the world period, because it's going to affect you somehow, some way. How fast are you overcoming and adapting?
Mhm.
How quick can you make those decisions? If you're one of those people that have to sit back and take all of the information and interview this person and interview that person, and well, you know, let's get all the facts first. You know, there's a thing about facts and there's a thing about taking care of your business and your people. And sometimes you just got to frickin' move. You can't afford to sit and wait. You can't afford to find out all of the facts. As an owner, you better be aware of all the frickin' facts now. What the hell do you need all of that other information for? You should be involved in your business enough to know what the pulse of your business is. And we talked about people yesterday, right? The people will tell you where your business is at as long as you truly have those open lines of communication to where your employees feel comfortable to share anything. That should be encouraged at the utmost, because then you can operate and work at the speed of business, because you're going to know how fast you need to work and you're going to have all of the alignments you need to make the right decisions. And sometimes you just need to make decisions, period. You got to move the things forward, because I'll tell you, when I was an employee, I want to follow people who can make fast decisions, make those decisions, and let's go. If the decision is wrong, it's wrong. Come back, tell me it was wrong. Let's figure out a different way, you know, solution-based always, right? But man, you got to make those decisions fast. Your business can't afford it to wait. Your people cannot afford to wait. Your customers cannot afford to wait. Prime example, you know, here locally in Fond du Lac, we had a business after how many years? 1940s?
Yeah.
30s?
Yeah.
20s?
30s?
1930s. And the business did not make it through COVID. My guess, and it's probably a pretty good guess because it's an educated guess, is that they didn't adapt, not fast enough.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that should have been done. There's a lot of preparation that should have been done. There's a lot of innovation that should have already been in place before any of this happened. And unfortunately, that's not the only business across this state, across the world, across the US that this is happening to. And that's part of that adaptation and innovation. I mean, if you are not figuring out ways to overcome situations and playing those out in theory, you are screwed. And you have lives at the cusp of your hand that you're taking care of. They're your responsibility. Your employees are your responsibility as an owner to make sure that they are taken care of. They spend 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 hours a day with you. They spend more time with you than they do at home with their family. You should take some ownership in that.
Mm-hmm. I want to thank Ray, of course, for putting in a comment there. And I would have to say that I agree and I disagree. I agree that when you come out of the military, not everybody coming out of the military is lost. Okay, not everybody is, because there are a multitude of jobs in the military that don't take a lot of adaptation when you come back. However, there is a certain element of adaptation, Ray, and I believe yesterday you said that you were having some issues with somebody that was a supervisor of yours. And I would dare to say that if you sat and really thought about why, I bet that would go back to your military experience, as to there is a belief that you are stuck on, whatever that is for you, that is agitating you when you deal with that person. So let me give you a little bit of a for instance on going out of the military and getting a job. I probably had 13 jobs coming out of the military. I was really good at all of them, but I didn't fit into any of them. My personality, my work ethic, the way that I talked to people, the way that I treated people did not fit into those situations. I had to adapt. I could not expect my supervisor to adapt to me. So then I started opening up my own businesses and failing miserably, because just because I came out of the military and just because I had an ego doesn't mean that I was going to be successful. Had I been successful, I may have been the moron that you're referring to, because I would not have had the intelligence enough to know that it's the people around me that helped create my company for me. I came in with an idea. I wanted to create something amazing, but it's the people that work around me. Not everybody's perfect. Certainly I've had enough people that I've worked with that I have really, really, really had to adapt to, not just the situation, but the person. Knowing that they were a good worker and their intentions were good, we just didn't mesh. But that didn't matter, and that didn't have to disrupt anything that we were doing, because I was smart enough to know and to be able to approach them on their level, not expecting them to be on mine. And so there's some intelligence in there as well. So that's what we're here to talk about, adapting in multiple ways. Just because I got out, I got jobs. Oh, I got lots of jobs. I was very successful in every single one of them that I touched, but I was never truly happy. And so why would I want to come in miserable every day for one? Why would I want to make everybody else around me miserable? So what I did was I started taking a really hard look at myself. And that took being homeless. So we can throw stones all we want and we can judge all of those things, but it's the people coming to you like we're coming to you and being honest and raw and real and unscripted, like here's our script, unscripted. I have a notepad in front of me to write down some thoughts as we're going, but we don't have a script of what we're talking about. These are real life lived experiences. And we're coming to you and pouring our hearts out to help you be a better person, wherever that is for you, to be better dads, moms, to be better executives, to be somebody that has served their country and you want to come out and be a badass. Awesome. Let us take what you're really good at and really hone in on all the things. Everything that's on that board over there, it's so powerful that we are collectively creating something for you to create another level. So we are not here to badmouth, bash, or to dislike, or to say that we are better than. No, we are simply here to give our opinions, our advice, and the shit that we've gone through.
We're just calling it out.
We're calling it for what it
is. Exactly.
Wow.
And there's a level of humility that you have to have. So we can sit and talk about adaptation and all of the other pieces of it, right? But really the main piece, the main focus is yourself. I mean, you have to adapt.
Yeah.
There's certain things within yourself you have to adapt and overcome in order to function properly, in order to own your life, own your job, own your position, own fatherhood, own motherhood, whatever it is. There's an ownership. In order to do that, you have to have a level of humility. You have to be able to overcome and adapt within your own environment, yourself. And if you struggle with that, that's where you're going to have struggles. Because if you're struggling within, you're going to struggle without.
And there's power in understanding where you're coming from. There's huge power. And it's none of your business what people's opinion is of you. So that's another thing that people need to let go of, is worrying about what other people think about you. Social media is really, really awful at this. And if you're not strong in your mind, you get sucked into that world. So be careful of what you let in, what you read, what you listen to, and remain strong here. So that's what we're working on, is to make that piece of you so powerful.
That's what we teach.
That you can go into any situation, any group of people, any business, and adapt. And I think that's where we should end for today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we're going to be going into innovation. Business innovation.
That's entirely what we did today.
So yeah, we'll touch a little bit on that piece tomorrow. So as usual, thank you so much for everybody that comes on and letting us in and letting us be a part of your life and conversation. We appreciate you so much, and we will see you here tomorrow.
Love you guys.